All right, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Shadow Valley. My name's Brennan.
You've got Parker.
And you've got Gabe.
All right. So I hope everybody's had a pretty good day. It's been okay. I finished work in 10 hours and I'm excited to be done for the week, especially because my ass is sore because I've been fucked by school all week.
Yeah, I hear that. No, my day's been good. It has been good. Nice and swell. Had work and went to school as well.
Glad to hear you're doing better.
Yeah, I'm doing much better. My throat is not as beat up or as dry as it was last week. So I'm feeling a lot better, feeling a lot more up to speaking on this episode.
That's pretty good because we got a rough one today.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, especially considering that we have such a heavy topic. This
Doozy.
This doozy of a episode. The next few actually are going to be pretty not intense, but it's just going to be a lot of content to go over and some exciting things coming in the last episode.
We're talking about World War II.
World
War
Hitler.
Little Hitler.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about those videos.
I was having fun.
Those videos are so effed. Oh man.
If only I got into art school.
Dude, he was denied twice.
Was he
Yeah,
really?
twice.
Once, but twice.
So the interesting thing with that, and we're kind of jumping ahead, but that's where a lot of people think that like Hitler's like anti-Semitism side came out, but there's just like not enough detail to really, I guess, validate what he said, because essentially he put that in Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Again, we'll go through this in a minute.
We'll get there. Let's
just start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. We'll go down.
Yeah.
We'll go down the line and we'll discuss.
Rewind it.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, there was a bang.
There was nothing.
Then boom.
The biggest bang.
Do it.
It was huge. Biggest bang ever. Anybody who denies this bang wasn't there. Jennifer Love Hewitt was there. All of these people were there. You had Scarlett Johansson. Absolutely wasn't gay at all. It was a very straight bang. Anybody who denies it, guess what? They're gay. The gayest things on the world.
Wanted to do a train.
Exactly. They wanted to look at my ass, and I told them no.
No.
Because it's huge.
It's not 10.
It's not tan. It's not orange. It's actually bright white. It sags down to my ankles.
Oh.
Not very pretty to look at. Wouldn't recommend. Definitely not.
Did you guys?
Y'all excited for me to be your
know-
president again? Huge.
Did you guys know that Trump sells Trump trading cards, like
Yes.
NFT trading cards?
Yes.
I did not know that till like today, and they're like $99 a piece.
Yeah,
And if you
biggest
buy
scam
47,
ever.
Oh, I know. If you buy 47 of them, he'll send you a physical card that is
hell yeah.
actually made by it's like made with the suit that he has his mugshot taken in.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so he'll send you a piece of that suit. It'll only cost you $4,700.
Holy shit.
Damn.
That is crazy.
$4,700 for a piece of Donald Trump's suit. Damn. I don't know.
Better
I
have
think
a
I'd
lock of
pay
it,
more
Harry.
for his suit he's wearing on January 6th.
No, that's the thing though, is like it has it's when he got arrested for the January 6th stuff, it was the suit he was in or something like that.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'll take like
interesting.
the day of, that suit. You
Yeah.
know, there's some like real sentiment in that one.
You're whack, bro.
Sentiment.
Uh,
Anti-sentiment.
Well. Now, let's talk about some anti-sentiment.
And anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. That's what I was trying to get at. I just forgot the word because I'm kind of dumb sometimes. So, let me just give you guys a quick overview of World War II. As many of us know, or at least most of us probably do know, this was probably it is the biggest massacre that has like ever happened.
Bro, this is bigger than Columbine and Trolley Square combined.
Yeah, like by multitudes and multitudes of
Yeah,
amounts.
Like
like
hundreds of thousands.
yeah, like millions.
Like 6 million.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Yep. Well, and so that's that's one thing. So the war, there was the genocide of 6 million Jews, estimated 6 million Jews. Some experts actually say it could be a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew they did the gays and the handicap too.
Yeah. So, and this is the Jewish people. And so I did not unfortunately see, I might have it somewhere in here, but I don't remember any information regarding the handicapped or the homosexual people or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we can discuss it in a bit. But let me
My
give you guys
type of people.
your type of people. Let me give you guys a quick rundown again. So, World War II was a 6 year and 1 day, actually. 6 years and 1 day long from 1939 to 1945. And again, it was the largest massacre of a people that has ever happened in the world. Obviously, we're going to try to hit this with as much detail as we can without giving you guys like an overload of information. And we're going to try to be as respectful as we can regarding some of the details, because obviously it's pretty horrible stuff that happened. So
Yeah. Please note, none of us are history majors or like
Yes.
historians. So like, it's not going to be like
perfect. No,
Yeah.
it won't be perfect. And really the goal with this podcast series right now, what we're doing is because we all wanted to learn about it, and we're hoping that people also want to learn about it in the way that we view things too, you know. It's been over 100 years since or almost, it'll be 100 years here soon in 7 years?
Yeah.
16 years from now.
Yeah.
It's going to be 100 years. So I don't know. I guess we're still a little bit off, but there's a lot that we've learned. There's a lot that has come to fruition in terms of new information. So yeah, we kind of just want to take a look at it, because last time we learned about World War II was like in grade school.
Oh yeah, that was the last time like I learned about World War II. It was back in grade school. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Like I think it was like 5th grade or something like that.
Yeah, I was in Mrs. Pangan's class.
Penguins.
Yeah,
Oh, was she? Was she?
she was the one who was in Nam.
Oh, she's
She was
Vietnamese?
legit in
Yeah.
Nam.
She was she was a soldier in Nam.
Oh wow, I did not
Yeah.
know that. For
That's
real?
hardcore.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
she was.
That is
That's why
hardcore.
she was so like intense too.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not
Like
know
a
that.
circus.
Yeah, she was crazy.
Huh?
Yeah,
Wow, very interesting.
I completely like failed that class.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like when it came to math.
Wait, wasn't it elementary school?
Yeah.
And you failed the whole thing?
Well, I did like some homework, but like in 5th grade, I stopped. Let's be real. Like in 3rd grade, I just stopped doing math. Like I just couldn't understand math. And so I just kind of like gave up on trying. And it wasn't until 7th grade to where like they put me in remedial math.
Oh,
like
to
the
like get you to
double
catch
dose.
back up?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
To where I had to like actually learn math.
that's so interesting.
And then I kept learning math until we got to 1050. And then like right at the end of 1050 or like maybe the middle, my brain just gave out. And I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on
Hell
anymore.
yeah, that's what's up.
Like I am not a math person at all. I definitely do English more. Hence why I want to do public relations.
Right, that makes sense.
I can do that a lot easier than like if you ask me to find like the freaking Pythagorean theorem, like use that shit. Like,
Pythagoras.
I use that like every day at work.
do you really?
I use it quite often
Well, yeah,
too.
because it's
You're finding
like
angles.
right angles.
Yeah.
Most buildings are square, so I'll pull like I have to find the hypotenuse of a building and then pull from one side to the other and make sure that it's square. If not, then we have to move it.
Damn. Yeah, no, I don't use that shit ever. because like
It's
I-
easy though. And you just use a calculator, a construction calculator. It just tells you what the hypotenuse is.
oh really?
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I am math challenged.
Me too, dude. Honestly. So, World War II.
The sequel.
the
Some say it's
sequel.
the better one.
The better one, yeah. Interestingly, the World War One was supposed to be the war to end all wars. That's what they like. Some called it, or some referred to it as, but it actually came to fruition.
Pretty much started the next.
Yeah, it came to fruition due to a lot of the things that came into play from World War One.
Yeah.
So World War II was the Allies versus the Axis powers. So mistakenly, a lot of people consider the Soviet Union to be part of the Allies, but initially they were not. They actually had a pact with Nazi Germany in the beginning, and it wasn't until Hitler broke that pact that they decided to move to or be part of the Allies. So it was the United States, Soviet Union at the time, or later down the line, United Kingdom and China, all going against the Axis powers of Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan. Again, this was an insane genocide. 6 million Jews were murdered throughout the extent of this war, and again, some do say that it could be quite a bit more than that. But we'll go into conspiracies and other ideas that have come from, again, more information that we've been able to glean, and yeah, we'll go over that in the last episode because we're excited for it. We're gonna go over some Nazi weapons and conspiracies. It'll be sick.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely a lot of conspiracies. If you know what, every conspiracy theory I've listened to like eventually dissolves into something about the Jews. And so
Yeah,
there's a
it's-
lot of conspiracy theories about World War II.
Oh yeah, it's funny that you
Yeah.
mentioned that because a lot of like even now a
Yeah.
lot of conspiracies and people like firmly believe that Jewish people are behind like a lot of stuff.
Oh,
which I
yeah.
found is so interesting. I didn't know that until I started looking into this. That people like have a very, very like deeply rooted ideas regarding how the world is ran.
Yeah.
Just crazy to me.
Well, Well, like, so, you remember when we did the Jesuit Rothschilds, that episode or whatever?
Yeah,
The
and we were talking
Illuminati
about
one?
the bad Jews.
Yeah, so like I don't know this for sure, but like my hypothesis of where like if all that stuff is true and you have bad Jew, good Jew, you know, I could like I almost it makes you wonder like are these bad Jews doing bad things and so people just group all the Jews together when it's really just like one group of evil people that aren't even really Jewish. They're like
right.
Yeah,
you know, like if all that stuff was true, they're not even Jewish. They're like Satanists.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
so you can't even really rope them in with Jewish people because they don't even practice anything Jewish.
Yeah, they just pretend to be
But
Jews.
it kind of makes you, yeah. So it kind of like makes you scratch your head a little bit. You're like, oh, well, maybe they're just doing bad things and got a bad rap because of like the bad people that weren't even Jewish people. The actual Jews are just like chilling, doing their religion and being like normal people.
Yeah.
And then they just got grouped in with everyone else.
That is so unfortunate.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to give you guys a quick breakdown of overall timeline so we can get an idea of kind of the main points that happened throughout the war. And then what we want to do after that is just go into Hitler's early life and start breaking down really what made him, I guess, get to the point where he was and what brought Nazi Germany to fruition. So we're going to start right here on Armistice Day. So Armistice Day was November 11th, 1918. And then we're going to go to Treaty of Versailles, which is 1990, or sorry, not 1990, 1919. And then Hitler becomes Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Remilitarization of Rhineland, 1936. Non-aggression pact between Soviet Russia and Germany, 1939. And then very soon after, the invasion of Poland, September 1st, 1939. Then we go to Battle of Britain. This was an important one because this was a pretty pivotal point in the war where a lot of people were like, it wasn't really until they took over like France that people were kind of considering the war to be like a phony war that was thrown around quite a bit, a phony war. And it wasn't until they went after Britain and they were able to fight them off that they considered Hitler to be pretty big, what's the word? Threat.
Yeah.
To
Threat?
Threat to the world, essentially. Then you have the Blitz, 1940 to 1941. Pearl Harbor in 1941, and we're nearing the end here. Then we have D-Day, 1944, and then Hitler's suicide on April 30th, 1945. Alleged. Yeah, that's a big one. A big alleged around that. And then the atomic bombings of 1945, and then Japan surrender, 1945, September 2nd.
Took him long enough.
No.
Hashtag back-to-back World War champs.
Yeah.
USA, USA, USA.
Not many people liked us during this time either. So
Not many people like us now.
Yeah, that's
Suck
true.
it.
Correct. Okay, so I just want to start with Armistice Day today. Well, in today's episode, we're going to go over Armistice Day. We're going to go over Hitler's rise in Germany, and then creating Nazi Germany, and then the invasion of Poland. So strap in, boys. It's going to be a doozy.
All right. I'm strapped. Stay strapped or get
and clapped. Okay, so Armistice Day, that was on November 11th, 1918. The reason I wanted to talk about this is it's pretty crucial into really understanding the significance of, understanding the significance of Armistice Day really will get you to understand what brought World War II to, I guess, I don't know, like what came into play to cause Hitler's frustration and a lot of German people's frustration with the rest of the world. Mainly, the frustration came from the Treaty of Versailles. So a lot of very severe conditions were put on Germany, as would be expected, because obviously what had happened was World War I,
Yeah.
and so a lot of the allies or the other countries came together, and they created the oh crap, I just forgot the name.
The Treaty of Versailles.
No, sorry, the Allied powers. What are they called? Why did I just forget the name? Woodrow Wilson.
Allied and Axis.
No, Woodrow Wilson. He made oh my gosh, I apologize, guys.
The United Nations.
It was before the United Nations. I apologize.
The
Well,
White People Covenant.
the White People Covenant. Once I remember the name, I will make sure to update you guys on that. However, so those guys came together and they created the Treaty of Versailles. It was 198 pages
Damn.
of just really harsh, like
Just wrecking
contingencies.
Germany 198 different ways.
No, seriously, and that's one interesting thing that I never really knew until doing the research, is that like there was a lot of very aggressive rules put in place, so nothing like that would happen again.
Yeah.
And again, the idea behind this whole thing was it was to end all war, to quote unquote make peace
Yeah.
throughout the world. And the funny thing is that it did the exact opposite. And that's why I wanted to like emphasize that group of, dang it. Now, sorry, I should just find the
The
name.
Big Four.
The Big Four.
The White Covenant.
The White Covenant. That's what we should just refer to them. If I can't
Yeah.
freaking find this stupid name.
What name? Like, what are you talking about? I just see him referred to as the Big Four all over.
Yeah.
The Pac-12.
The Pac-12 World War. The Pac-12.
Rest in peace.
They were in the SEC.
Oh, yeah, right?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being stupid.
Oh. For anybody who doesn't know, the Pac-12 is like a football conference. It's like
Yeah.
a college football conference. It
Yeah.
has, I think, 12 schools.
It had 12
It's funny that
schools.
we've talked about it before. It's the second time we've mentioned it on the podcast.
Yep.
It's a pretty good name, like the Pac-12. So that's why I was like, you know what? If I had to be like a group of countries, I'd be like, we're the Pac-12.
Okay. So
That does instill a certain amount of fear.
yeah, it does. Okay. It was the League of Nations.
The League of Nations.
League
Oh.
of Nations. Sorry, guys.
That's like a nerd
Oh, that
thing.
was
It's
like the
League of Legends.
Yeah. That's the funny thing is that so again, like the Woodrow was very insistent that they create the League of Nations, and they disbarred it once World War II began
Yeah.
because it literally failed to do the one thing it was created to do, was stop war. Like kind of make communication between nations a
Yeah.
lot simpler, easier, more secure, more peaceful, and
Dude,
it
Woodrow
failed to do that
Wilson's
one thing.
such a nerd because think about League of Nations. Like, what are you trying to do? Make the Justice League? Like, he wants to be a superhero so bad because he's just trying to make his own league. He's like, look at us, we're so
Well-
big.
Well, weren't most comics written like post World War II, or were they around after World War One? When did they become like more big?
I have no idea.
Because I feel like
Um,
there's a lot of comics that are based off of like actual historical people that they just kind of have like taken them and made them a superhero and made fun of them. So it could have told. I'm like, my point is, I'm like, did he do the League of Nations so that DC was like, oh yeah, the Justice
Oh,
League,
Justice
or
League.
who did it first?
Yeah, that's
The
a good question.
Justice League. You know,
Who
the
wore it
people who
better?
fight crime, but yet you get these like maniac supervillains who are like worse than the regular criminals they were originally trying to fight crime against.
For real though. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I want to say though that comic books, just in general, didn't really gain popularity until the Vietnam War, because people, I think it
Yeah,
was a lot.
The Justice League, I just looked. They first debuted in The Brave and the Bold number 28, which came out in March 1960.
Oh dang! So it was a hot minute after World War II.
Yeah,
Well,
20
yeah.
years or so after World War II.
Dang.
Yeah, well, DC Comics first released their first comic in 1937.
Yeah, so actually that would fall in line pretty close to Vietnam War as well. Because I seem to remember, and I don't know why this is, I have this fact in my head, but prior to a lot of these superhero comics, a lot of it was all space travel related and stuff. And so it wasn't until Vietnam War that people wanted to have like more of like a figure of hope, if you will. And so that's when they really started relying heavily on like Superman, for instance, and a lot of
Yeah.
those guys, because they wanted to make a bigger point of like having somebody that could take you out of these really turmoil situations, you know?
Dang.
A
Captain
savior.
America.
Yeah, or like Captain America. I think he came after though. I think Captain America was like the Marvel version of Superman, like that very like all perfect person almost.
Yeah. Just
Um,
ripped and USA strapped on that ass, baby.
What the hell? But yeah, so sorry for the derailment there, guys. I apologize, but the League of Nations created the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. Again, this was probably worst case scenario for Germany, due to a lot of these very like harsh conditions imposed on them. It created like a horrible economic instability throughout the whole entire country. Like everybody was losing their jobs. There was a lot of like people coming from the woodwork to almost like prey on those that just wanted a change, you know, like things were getting really rough. And that's that part is like one of the bigger reasons why Hitler was able to come into powers because, and I feel like this is a pretty well known fact, but he was a very, very good public speaker, like very good. He was very good with his words. He knew how to get people on his side. And that was a huge role, or that was a huge power to him because during this time, he was very good at convincing people, again, like a very political person, very politics oriented. You know, he was a what's that? Like a charismatic. Yes, that's what I was looking for. He's very charismatic. He made you feel like you were the only person in the world, and people looked up to him. You know, they saw Hitler's views and stuff as like, oh shoot, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He might be able to help us get out of this like really shitty spot that we're in. But again, a lot of these. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so like when you like the whole country is like down on their luck, like
yep.
I remember hearing that and I don't know if it's true or not, but I remember in history they were talking about how like people were literally burning their paper money to stay warm because it was cheaper to burn their paper money than it was to go use that money to buy firewood because their money was like worth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the state these people are in. And then you have some guy who's like really good speaker, really charismatic, just telling about change, and he's really passionate and like it gets you fired up. And then, you know, like he seems confident. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. Like that inspires other people to have confidence in you. And then they don't know what they want. They just know they don't want what they have. So like when you're yelling change at the top of your lungs, people are like, you know, and you're confident enough and they're in a bad situation. They're like, hell yeah, like let's follow this guy.
They're a lot more receptive to those like very, again, extreme ideologies of this individual that wants to quote unquote cleanse the German people of what he believes to be the root cause of all the issues.
Yeah.
When in reality, it was like, I mean, the root cause of the issue was obviously like anti-Semitism, as well as a lot of the rules that were set in place to like essentially mitigate Germany, which is crazy to me. But again, I didn't know any of this prior to doing research. Like I didn't know that the Treaty of Versailles was so aggressive in their tactic to keep Germany locked down. I didn't know that at all. Like they made them get rid completely of their air force.
Oh, really?
Completely, yeah. Abolish their air force entirely. And they made sure they like not killed off, but they shut down a lot of their armies and militaries and stuff. And that'll be a big point that we hit on later down the line. Like I said, they do eventually revive the military there in Germany. And obviously it goes into very quick effect and is very aggressive down the line. But yeah, so that was Armistice Day and emphasis on Treaty of Versailles. Now let's move on to Hitler's rise, and this is where we're going to spend a little bit more time. So Hitler was born on 1889 in Austria. So one thing that I wanted to point out with Hitler's childhood and pretty much any time prior to when he joined the Nazi Party, it's very hard to get any solidified or reliable information regarding his childhood because a lot of it's been very muddied up by conspiracy theories, fake news, or himself, really. So, because he didn't like to tell the truth, which is no surprise to many people, I think.
It was because Mercury was in retrograde that entire time.
Yeah, that's definitely it. So, importantly, Hitler, when he was a young kid, his dad didn't really see him as his son. He saw him as an illegitimate child. Obviously, this was because his dad liked to sleep around, and so he kind of just saw Hitler as like you're just there.
Yeah.
He didn't mean anything to his dad, so that led him to be a lot closer to his mom. But his mom actually passed away when he was 17. So obviously, when you're 17, if your mom passes away, regardless of who you turn out to be, that can be a very rough thing to have to go through. So yeah, it weighed pretty heavily on him. Later down the line, though, he does move to Vienna, 1907. Sorry, not later down the line. It's actually, I think it was only a couple months or so after his mom had passed away. But he moved to Vienna to kind of get away from his hometown and his dad, and to pursue his career in arts. We hit on it in the beginning regarding his artwork, and Parker stated that he was actually rejected from art school twice. But the interesting thing, though, and they quote, they say he was not talented enough. But I've got some pictures here, and obviously the viewers won't be able to see this, but you can definitely Google it. But these pictures, like, his artwork really is not bad.
It's pretty good.
It's like pretty good for, I could never do any of this. Like, this is nuts.
I couldn't either. I don't get where did they get off to this? Like, how did they justify rejecting this man? Like,
It doesn't make sense.
uh-uh.
It's very weird. So
Do you think they just didn't like him?
I heard that
think-
rumor.
I think that could be the case, but I also have a hard time wanting to believe that, because he was, again, like everyone says, or emphasizes how charismatic he was. And so I have a hard time believing that it was because they didn't like him. Mind you, though, like, people could definitely be lying about him being charismatic. So,
Well, he like, I do. So in what I was watching this video about him, like, growing up and stuff, and they talked about how even before his mom died, and like in like younger school and stuff, he was kind of a troubled kid and everything. And then also that, like, he already kind of had these ideas, not necessarily of anti-Semitism, but he had like these really strong ideas of like a unified Germany. Like, this is stupid that we're not just like one big country that's all the same race. He never had any
Right.
like, we don't want Jews, but he definitely was like big on, like, even when he was young, according to this video, okay, so I could be wrong, but it talked about how he like had these strong ideas of like, we need to be a pure race and we need to be one Germany and like all this stuff, which I don't know, that probably would have less to do with it as much as like he had a troubled past and he got in trouble a decent amount and stuff like that. So maybe they just didn't want to deal with his BS. I don't know.
no, I think that's true. I think I don't know. I don't think we can write anything off. I think anything in that realm is definitely holds some validity to it. But yeah, so just to mention what we are looking at right now, it's the Munich Town Hall painting by Adolf Hitler, which is honestly really pretty good. And then you have Munich Royal Hofbräu. This one is also really good as well. Again, like, we don't have to spend too much time on this, but I was just very surprised
Damn.
to know.
Way good.
That one's a good one.
Right. This one's Alpenhof oil on board. This one was painted actually after. It was prior to his becoming chancellor. So it was in 1926. He became chancellor in 1933.
I would definitely hang that in my house.
Honestly, like, this one's very pretty. This one, die car.
That would be such a cool way to decorate, is get all of Hitler's like paintings and hang them all over your house, because
That'd
no
be
one would have
nuts.
any clue that they were Hitler's, but like, it'd just be kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah. And if you guys want to look at these, they are on the web. You can look them up. This one's called Die Karlschirch. Sorry if I butchered that. It's a German, obviously. I'm Winter, 1912. This one's like really nice. It's crazy. But I mean, this is besides the point. I just wanted to emphasize like how interesting it is that they rejected him for not being talented enough. And again, it probably has a lot to do with what Parker said regarding his attitude toward things. But I wanted to go over I guess, like the origin of his anti-Semitism. Again, because a lot of people think that it came during this time when he was in Vienna, which I do think it did come from that time, but I don't think it was directly related to being rejected from art school. You know, I think it definitely has its part in it, but I don't think it was the main reason. So let me just go over some things here. So Hitler grew up in Austria, and back then Austria was very anti-Semitism just ran prevalent throughout the city or throughout the country. A lot of the leaders and stuff would use Jewish people as a scapegoat for the economic and the social issues. And then when he was in Vienna, Hitler was actually exposed to a anti-Semitic figure. His name was Karl Lueger. He was the mayor of Vienna, and he promoted a lot of anti-Semitism ideas. So the reason why I wanted to point that out, though, is when he was in Vienna, he actually sold a lot of his art to many Jewish art dealers.
Really?
And he relied a lot on this income because that's the thing, is that he was making no money other than just selling his art. And so he was relying on these Jewish art dealers to help him out and help him sell his paintings or buy his paintings from him. And so that, again, is why I was hesitant to say it was because he got rejected from art school, because I guess at the end of the day, if you're just trying to make your buck, maybe you could put your thoughts to the side. But I just, considering how much he hated Jewish people, I would just be surprised if it was during this time that it happened, you know?
That's like a Klansman, like having a barbecue with a black man.
No, like exactly though. No, you're right. Like a Klansman, or your more, I guess, media covered Klansman. I'm sure there's very intense versions out there, but like they have a burning hate for other people of color, if you will.
Yeah.
So for somebody like that to go and even associate themselves with the thing that they hate the most, just seems odd, you know? And that's what I found so odd about this whole situation, is that people just say like, oh yeah, I was definitely from this. Mind you though, I think it definitely, a lot of it probably comes from his autobiography, his Mein Kampf, My Struggle, where he outlined his like manifesto and essentially like gave his reasoning behind all of his anti-Semitic views. And he said that it all correlated back to that time. Again, we're not him. He could be lying about all of this, but I think mainly what had happened was when he was in Vienna, Karl Lueger really kind of ignited that anti-Semitism in Hitler, which led him to start, I guess, going down that path of like, again, scapegoating the Jewish people. Other people say that it could be just due to his like childhood, some like, again, the rejection, the failures that he's kind of experienced. Other people say that it was a racial pseudoscience. He was influenced by racist ideologies, including the pseudoscience theories that portrayed Jews as racially inferior. The other thing too with pseudoscience is that it was very prevalent during the 19th century and early 20th century. Obviously, most of that is not most of it, but most of it isn't as popular as it was before. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to hit on those things because I think it's interesting to see where everybody's, I guess, thoughts are regarding where it came from. That was just what I was able to find. The most popular reasons why he became like he hated the Jews. I don't know if you guys have seen anything else that was not mentioned.
You know, in all honesty, like I haven't really like seen anything else. You always hear those rumors like the guy who rejected him from art school is Jewish.
Yeah.
Um,
What? And then so sorry. Continue. My apologies.
I mean, or like one day he was like beat up by a Jew or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of different stories out there, and the other thing too that I think, and this again, some people have tried to justify or tried to not justify, tried to prove this theory that Hitler himself was actually Jewish as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't we talk about him being like the bad Jew though?
yeah, something like when we went over,
Possibly.
yeah, Templars.
Well, because he would have been if the like theory or whatever was true. Well, I mean, it has good evidence to be true.
Mhm.
If but anyways, he would have been a descendant of a Rothschild, which they're Khazarian Jews. So, according to all of that stuff on that, that theory.
Mhm.
So yeah, he would have been quote unquote bad Jew technically. But my thoughts are like for him to be so anti-Semitic, is he definitely was like a very much a nationalist. Like he loved his country.
Mhm.
And I don't think he had a lot of hatred for the other countries because of the Treaty of Versailles and all that stuff and all of the things that it imposed, the ramifications it imposed on Germany.
Mhm.
And it really, kept Germany down. And I don't think he liked that, his great country was not great. And then, but the people that would have still been doing well in the country, though, probably a lot of them were Jewish because, just factually, like that a lot of the Jewish people were bankers and wealthy people and stuff. So while, if you're just stepping inside Hitler's head for a minute, it's like he hates anyone who is pushing his country down or whatever. And then but it seems like, in his mind, he's like, all the Jewish people are doing good right now, while all the just German people are not doing good, when in reality, the Jewish people were German too, but they just were a different, belief system, I guess. But
Mhm.
I don't know. That's my only guess or hypothesis of why he would really hate the Jews so much, is because of those things.
No, he made a picture. They look different. He made a diagram about like what an actual Jew looks like versus like what a pure Aryan German looks like.
Yeah, so whack.
He doesn't even look like an Aryan German.
That's the funny thing too, is that it's like he outlines it so detailed, like white hair, blue eyes, and then he is the opposite of that, essentially. Like I don't know, just funny. But yeah, I to echo what Parker said, I think that's another important note, that Hitler, he loved his country. He signed up for the German army for World War II, and he fought for his
World War One.
Or sorry, not World War II. Well, yeah, World War One, not World War II, technically. But yeah, he fought for his country then too, and he was very bothered by the defeat. He felt like a lot of people, or a lot of the army, got stabbed in the back, essentially by his own people, other people that they made pacts with, and especially the German Jews. A lot of people started to throw around accusations toward the Jewish people at the time, that they were the reason behind Germany's downfall. And again, like a lot of this all stemmed from World War I, as well as the establishment of communism. Russia during that time was heavily run by communism, and a lot of people were very scared, at the time, to have that come over to their country. And a lot of people blame the Jews for that as well, and again, another thing that a lot of people point out is the Mein Kampf. He wrote that when he was incarcerated for being trying to essentially overthrow the government, which is crazy to me. You know, like how did people not already start getting bad ideas about this guy during that time? Mind you, again, like people, I'm sure, probably just wanted to change, and they saw him as like almost like a hero, you know?
Yo, it kind of reminds me of like some crazy event that's like going on nowadays. Something about like a January 6th that like happened about like overthrowing a government. And like some like white guy who has
Some
like a
white dude.
following where they think he's like a hero. Some people compare him to like Jesus.
What the hell? People compare him to Jesus?
Yeah.
For
some
real?
people okay. Some people have prayed to him.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You think I'm kidding, but there's like actual videos of people praying to Donald Trump.
That's insane.
I'd
Yeah.
rather pray to my dog.
You'd rather pray to your dog.
That's awesome. Dang, that's crazy. And then, oh, also the other thing too is that, and we hit on this a little bit in the beginning of the episode, but a lot of people still subscribe to this idea, but people like, there's a big fear that like a global Jewish conspiracy, that Jews are controlling international finance, politics, media, and anything under the sun, pretty much. And so being around this all when he was growing up, especially in Austria, and then learning about it from the mayor, Carl. I'm sure all really fed into his idea of what would make Germany better. And that's really what started the Nazi Party.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
So-
did not see that coming.
Oh, dang. You got him. You got him, dude. You got us. Good. So in 1919, I feel like I'm dyslexic. So Hitler joined the DAP, and this was a German Workers' Party. And again, during this time, he like rose through the ranks very quickly because he was very charismatic and very good like speaker. You know. Later down the line, though, the DAP a year later changed into National Socialist Germany Workers' Party.
What?
That was the Nazi Party.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean they were socialists and not fascists?
Yes. No. Yes.
You mean to tell me they're the National Socialist Party?
They're the National Socialist German Workers' Party.
But they weren't socialists, they were fascists.
Yeah, but it also said they were workers. It's fine. It's just the name that they came up with it. And this is also a translation from German to English, so it could be a wrong translation. I don't know. But it was a night.
Historians for like the past like almost 100 years have straight up just gotten it wrong. Just like it's not the National Socialist Party. It's just the freaking like I don't know. I kind of had a crackhead moment there. I'm sorry. Like I just literally just forgot what I was like saying. I got distracted.
It's okay. So I'll get us back to where we were. So 1920, that was when they formed the Nazi Party. In 1923, Beer Hall Push. This was when they tried to overthrow the government, the Weimar government. So it's important to note during this time, the Weimar government was pretty heavily they wanted to be very non-aggressive. They had very conservative thoughts regarding armies and war, really, and so the Nazi Party at this time wanted to change that view, as did many German people. Again, like just to echo what we've been saying this entire time, like people at this time felt like betrayed. They just felt like they were getting, honestly, like for lack of a better term, like just screwed, like everything that was put in place was destroying their economy, destroying their lives. And so people wanted to look to the government to fight back. And
They felt like they were taking my college courses.
yeah, exactly. They wanted the government to fight back, and they wouldn't. And so what the Nazi Party did at that time was they planned this whole coup. Eventually, what ended up happening was it failed. You know, Hitler was arrested, and then that's when he was sent to prison, and he wrote Mein Kampf. So that's really, really when it all kind of started for Hitler, and he started to try and climb the ranks within the government. So in 1924, 4 years after his release, he started to rebuild the Nazi Party. He started to rely heavily on propaganda, and he started to exploit a lot of the economic hardships in Germany, as well as the economic hardships going on throughout the world. So during this time, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to point out how crazy it is if you think about it. Like, so Hitler literally, he like tries to do this thing, throw the government, right? Doesn't work. So he's like, F him, I'll just do it the right way. And then he ends up being chancellor.
It's
like,
crazy.
That's insane when you think about it.
It's crazy, dude. And you know, the interesting thing to do, like, I was thinking about this prior to the episode, is like, I don't want to compare it to this, but that's like what I always think about is this whole thing is almost like a movie, if you will. Like,
yeah,
it's very weird. It's interesting to think about it in a different manner because we have all these insane details of one of the craziest things that has ever happened to the world. You know, like you think about COVID and stuff, like we all lived through that. And we're going to think about it in 20 years and be like, holy crap, that was like such a mind effort, you know? Like, and then we look back on World War II and it's like, holy shit, like how did we allow something to get so crazy and exploded, you know? Like that is just nuts. And in my head, like that only happens in the movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so odd to me. I don't
Well,
know
you
if
know
that
what'd be
really makes sense
crazy?
what I'm like trying to get at, but
Yeah.
What would be crazy is if you so you make this movie and like the viewer doesn't know that it's about Hitler, but you like go through his whole life story from like when he's born, you look at his struggle in childhood, like all this stuff, and it really shows everything from Hitler's perspective. So the viewer is like
almost
very like
sympathetic
empathizing.
or empathetic. Yeah.
Yeah, with him. And so the whole time you're like, I get it. And then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, you like realize it was Hitler, and then it just like the screen just cuts to black, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a monster!"
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
that'd be such a good movie.
That'd be crazy. See, it's just so nuts. I don't know. It's so interesting that we I don't know, it's just history. You know, that's the crazy thing is that's our history, you know. History is just crazy.
Remembered another theory, like why Hitler like targeted the Jews.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because he had syphilis. Like that's like a theory. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but like he had syphilis and it like messed with his brain.
Yeah, along with probably the tens of 20s of drugs that he was on during this time too. We'll go over that kind of stuff too.
Syphilis by eating a
What
bat.
a stud.
What a stud. Jeez.
So you can say that because this isn't an episode about China.
Not saying it came from China.
The Kung flu.
I can't believe you said that.
Donald Trump.
See, dude, yeah, all of Donald Trump's like sayings is like an Office episode.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I know. He's like Michael Scott.
Yeah, but just a little more orange and chunky.
Yeah.
Basically. God damn.
But yeah, so in 1924 he starts rebuilding the Nazi Party. In 1929, again he almost starts to just prey on like hardship. You know, people's weak minds at this point. You know, everybody's just they're very spread thin. You know, everybody's looking for jobs. Even the United States is going through a Great Depression, and during this time is really when Hitler capitalizes hardcore. He puts the Nazi Party in a position of almost like to restore Germany and former greatness. And so,
did you know like during this time there's a lot of like wild dogs like in the streets.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I wonder why.
just like people stopped having pet dogs because they were just like another mouth to feed, and so they just kind of like
Huh.
neglected them and like left them in the streets. But you know who would have like had an absolute field day in this
Shit, here we
time?
go. Here we go. Let's hear it. Who?
Dick Cheney, dude. This guy would be in the street shooting these puppies down.
He'd have a heyday, dude. He probably would love Mexico.
He probably would. There's a lot of dogs there too.
Yeah, there is a lot of dogs. When I go and visit my family out there, like
Live
you've
in
got
the
to be
beef.
careful sometimes, like because the dogs will just attack you.
Yeah.
Because they're at that point they're just wild animals, you know. Like,
Right.
It's like the res dogs
yeah, like
out
so
here
in Vernal, yeah. But-
the res dogs, man.
Yeah, dude. One of my buddies served his mission in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
And he said that they would be walking around and oftentimes they would like kick dogs. And it wasn't to like just kick a dog. It was
Yeah.
because the dog was like attacking them.
Yeah.
And so they're like him and his companion would have to like kick the dog and just run. Because then more would just come after you.
Damn.
Which is crazy. It's nuts, but yeah, a lot of stray dogs out there. But that's interesting that that was going on in Germany. But yeah, I bet you're 100% right. It's
Yeah.
probably just like, well, we don't want to deal, you know, like
Yeah.
this is almost like a dispensable thing. You
Yeah.
know? Even though they're not, but
They're good
Yeah.
boys.
good boys. Oh, good boy.
So cute.
Oh, cute. So after Hitler's campaign and really just painting the Nazi Party in a good light to the German people, they really gained a lot of good electoral success in the 1930s. When the 1932 election came by, they put Hitler into the limelight, and that is when he became chancellor. He was appointed by Paul von Hindenburg,
Mein Führer.
president at the time. Yeah. So the reason why Hindenburg actually appointed Hitler was because he thought he could control Hitler well, which obviously turned out to kind of explode in his face.
Yeah.
Because very quickly afterwards, he kind of like took over. Essentially, he moved very swiftly and he consolidated a lot of power. Just even within just a few months, he started passing a lot of acts throughout Germany to kind of start moving back to the totalitarian state, you know, where they would start bringing back a lot of these armies and getting ready to kind of just go to war again, you know, like it was during this time that he was prepping everybody to go invade Poland, you know, and I find it hard to believe, I would find it hard to believe if Hitler in 1933, 6 years before the invasion of Poland, didn't have, hadn't already premeditated this whole plan, you know, because to be a ruler, to be a dictator like this, it takes a very unique type of person as well as a very organized person.
Yeah.
And so
I guarantee Hitler had autism.
Oh my God.
no, dude, but that's the thing is like that's also another like very popular conspiracy is that he had autism. I mean, and I think back then I think it was a lot more prevalent because it couldn't go diagnosed, and
Yeah.
maybe now more so it's like
Well, you have
maybe
the
not
iPad
everybody.
kids.
Yeah,
They're
the
like
iPad kids.
automatically like autistic. Literally.
Literally.
My son watches his iPad like 4 inches from his
Oh,
face.
shit.
Like,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
insane. What the freak is your problem?
I hate my
Can't
will,
even see the
brother.
whole screen.
Literally.
I literally love my iPad.
Cocoa melon is.
Dude, I hate that show.
Oh
Sucks.
man.
I've never seen cocoa melon.
Seen
God.
too much Cocoa Melon.
The joys of fatherhood.
The joys of
Yeah.
fatherhood.
That's why you get a dog. Look, they're the only ones that love you.
Fair enough. they don't feel love though, because like you chop their nuts off.
Oof.
I didn't.
No.
He's still intact.
He got them dogs.
I'll
Okay.
send you a pic.
Oh no,
Bow
please
wow.
don't.
Yes, daddy. Just
Ew.
kidding.
Ew, dude.
The bread and wash some good dog nuts.
Ew.
Saw, bro. Yeah, I like your dog.
Ew. Okay. We don't need to talk about dog testicles.
Low
so,
key, I'm a furry.
oh.
I'm just kidding. This is my first
Hey,
soda.
hey, no king shaming, okay? If you were a furry, anybody out there wants to be a furry, you go for it. Do your own thing. Freaking
My persona. I
Get
go
down with
by Rufus.
Rufus.
Yeah. I'm a golden retriever.
I don't-
Addicted to crack. That's my persona.
Very
Woof,
nice.
woof.
Just instead of like woof woof, it's crack crack. Just like shaking intensely the entire time like a chihuahua. Just you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. But so yeah, let's go. So back to Hitler's positions and a rise to this power of Führer. So 1934, President Hindenburg actually dies, and Hitler then combines the
Good for him. Living his best life.
death. He combines the position
So
of
jealous.
president and chancellor, which then he declares himself as Führer.
Okay.
After this, once he's president and he has a lot more control over what's going on, he does create a totalitarian state, and yeah, that's when he remilitarized and expanded most of everything. During this time, he's actually already and that's another thing that I learned as well. Prior to the invasion of Poland, he's actually already been invading Austria at this time.
Wow.
So much of Austria is controlled by Nazi Germany prior to his invasion of
Damn.
Poland, and quite a bit of the homes and locations out there were occupied by much of the German army. Not the
Well, because
Yeah.
wasn't the League of Nations like, hey, don't do that, and then Hitler was like, well, I'm only taking what used to be Germany's anyways, and
Yep.
these people all want to be a part of our country, and they're like, okay, fine, have it, but don't do
Right.
anything else. And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna invade Poland. They're like, no, don't do that. And he's like, I did it.
And they're like, oh shit. Yeah, again. And I mentioned this in the beginning too. Like prior to this, a lot of people were witnessing that and they almost just like let him do his thing. Again, they labeled it as the phony war up until the invasion of Poland really set it off. But it didn't get so insanely serious until they started trying to go over after Britain and stuff. But yeah, so that'll lead us right into the invasion of Poland. So September 1939 marked the beginning for most of Hitler's reign and Nazi Germany's reign throughout the world. Again,
He rose to power like quick.
yeah, dude, he rose to power in what is that? 7 years total?
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. No, less. He rose to power in 5 years total. 5 years total.
Damn.
Yeah, because he got out of.
Maybe one of us should just run for president. Like, if Hitler can do it, like we could.
If Hitler can do it, I can do it.
No,
No,
like we
that's-
played with that idea of like like I was talking to Lucas about because he said I should run for state senate or
Mhm.
state house representative. Could you imagine like I just go in there and like be a part of the government?
That'd be nuts, dude. That'd be awesome. Then you can.
You're like making
you
like
can,
these awful jokes.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have people just like jumping over your podium to try and kill you.
For real. Just like just trying to be assassinated. I'll just like go
And it's
in
like-
there.
Fred's all, you smell that? It smells like January 6th.
Oh my gosh.
Causing all this havoc.
But then you can promote the podcast on a more national scale.
Oh yeah. I just
and then
go
you won't
into
get
like
elected to anything else.
For real.
Big brain.
just go into the state senate and be like, smells like someone shat their magic underwear today.
Oh my gosh. That'd be so messed up.
Herbert, I'm looking at you.
Oh my gosh. Or I can't. I'm gonna get canceled.
Okay. So it's okay. We'll just go back to let's go back to the topic at hand. So yeah. Again, I mentioned
Brothers,
this.
do we have our secret handshake today?
Oh my gosh. That's
Stop.
so again, like I mentioned earlier,
What is this?
the so
I don't know it yet. Give me a hug.
Oh my gosh.
So the attack on Poland again led to the collapse of the League of Nations due to their only job was to stop war, and they failed horribly at it. So it didn't fulfill its mission, and everybody looked at it as kind of a joke eventually. And
So funny.
then they eventually created the what is it now? Freaking
United Nations.
United Nations, yeah. But yes, the invasion of Poland really underscored the urgent need for a more robust system, and that's why they did make the United Nations after World War II.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ways, and one
We
of the
also
most
got like Mac Daddy Big Dick NATO.
big dick NATO, yeah. We also did a bunch of horrible things right before the end of World War II, and we'll go over those too. I'm excited to hit on to the Manhattan Project because it's pretty interesting, especially considering that it's gotten so much light over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
With the Oppenheimer movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go over that into some heavy water. Heavy water was so interesting. Have you guys read about that at all?
I haven't.
And like how a lot of people
Nothing.
thought that was like the trick or the solution to making like an atomic bomb
Really?
was heavy water. That was like heavily studied by Heisenberg in in Nazi Germany to like try and figure out how to use an atomic bomb was heavy water.
Damn. How dense was that?
I don't know.
What's heavy water?
It's like it's just a more dense version of. I don't know exactly how dense it is, but I just know it's supposed to react a little bit more with the uranium. I do believe that we, like in the Manhattan Project, we did try to use heavy water, but we found solutions elsewhere to enhance the uranium and the combustion rate or something like that. But yeah, so the United States actually ran a lot of missions to retrieve as much heavy water as we could, and we'll go into those missions because they're pretty interesting.
Wow.
Like it's very cool because a lot of it was like you read through these missions and it's like, whoa, that shouldn't have worked at all, but somehow they like were able to get out and like retrieve all this heavy water from crazy places. So in hopes to kind of like dampen the efforts of Nazi Germany.
Sounds like that water should have laid off the Twinkies.
Yeah, dude.
They call
lay
it
off
Bailey water. And
Damn.
Too heavy.
Too heavy. Yeah, too much mass.
leave the water. It's too much.
Yeah, when I first heard about heavy water, I thought it was like, have you guys ever had that viscous water that they give people that like have issues being able to drink stuff if it's not thick?
I had no idea.
Dude, it's crazy. It's
I
so
didn't know that
disgusting.
Either of these things were a thing.
It's like almost like a, how can I explain it?
Milk.
It's like, well, yeah, like coagulated milk. No, because coagulated milk is like chunky. It's weird. I don't know. If you ever have a chance to try
What-
viscous water,
Do you mean curdled milk?
or
'Cause
curdled milk. That's
coagulated is
coagulated
blood,
would be.
isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. Different.
That gave me the grossest image in my head of like someone drinking like blood or something.
Yeah, sorry. That was I used the wrong word. My apologies.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I was like, am I mistaken? Like, am I just in like what?
Just like
No,
chunky blood.
I think well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I don't know. Anyway, so but yeah, if you ever get the chance to try some of that viscous water, definitely do it. It's because it's horrible. And it's horrible.
Does it taste good?
It just tastes like normal water, but it's just so foreign. It's not you just know it's not supposed to be like that.
I just imagine like slurping Jello.
It's almost like Jello, but it's like
Is it like syrup?
yeah. It's like a thicker syrup, just a little bit thicker syrup.
Whack.
Yeah, it's weird.
I feel
don't
like
know.
you'd like choke on it, just be like.
No, honestly, it was weird because it was a little bit harder to get down. Like, because I was like, oh, this is like, I don't know, just so foreign. Okay, so back to, we're almost done here. Sorry, I know there's been a lot of information, but I think it's important to hit the details, especially on the first episode, so we really understand like the main reasons why Hitler did what he did later down the line, and then be completely confused as to some of the other things that he did down the line because it's crazy. Like breaking the pact that he made with Soviet Russia at the time.
He shouldn't have done that. He probably could have gotten a lot further if he didn't do that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because the thing is that when he broke that pact, that was like the beginning of the end for him, essentially. You know, like from that point on, it was just a matter of time until it all came crumbling down.
Yeah.
Well, way to spoil it. I was curious whether he won or not.
Ah, shit. Sorry.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He was no Dick Cheney.
He was
Funny to
no Dick
start
Cheney.
Start a history episode and we're like, sorry, there's spoilers in this.
Yes, spoilers ahead. Be forewarned.
Yeah.
Germany lost.
Yeah.
Germany lost. Skip to 1 hour and 5 minutes to miss the spoilers. So, yeah, one of the main tactics that Nazi Germany and Hitler at this time employed were blitzkrieg tactics. Blitzkrieg, meaning in German, is a lightning war. So really what they did was rapidly move their military through to different coordinates. So it'd be infantry, tanks, air support, and just overwhelm whatever area they were attacking. So they would destroy like any sort of communication in or out. They would destroy supplies coming in or out, electricity. They would just bomb the shit out of everything, essentially. And this is how they were able to overtake Poland so quickly.
Yeah.
Mind you, though, Poland did put up a amazing fight, and they held off for I think it was 4 days that they held off the German and the Russian forces, actually. So Germany came in from one side, and then the Russian forces came in from the other side to help take over Poland. And yeah, so during this time, though, Poland was able to hold off quite a bit from the attacks, but eventually did have to give in to the attacks, unfortunately. So yeah, the next thing that happened there, sorry guys, I lost a little bit of my track here. So we'll move on to, here's the last thing I want to hit on was the Caden massacre. And I was speaking to Brandon prior to this about, or prior to recording about the situation, which I had no idea about, before studying this stuff. And it has to do with the massacre of about 4,000 Polish police officers in the Caden Forest. It was a mass execution by the Soviet authorities. They pulled out a bunch of police officers or people in the government into the forest, and they shot all of them in the back of the head. During that time, though, the Soviets denied it heavily throughout. And it wasn't actually until the Cold War that the truth started to unravel and unfold, and they finally acknowledged it and said that it actually did happen, and they did take responsibility over it, which was pretty important to overall acknowledgement and understanding again of new information that we've received, because I don't remember learning about that unless you guys do, but I don't remember learning about any of that when I was in school. Like nothing about it.
No, I've never heard about it till like just now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Like the obviously like they were taking a lot of families out of their homes, and a lot of things were being occupied by the German forces and the Russian forces too. And yeah, they just had to take their solution, Soviet Union's solution to all of these extra people out there were to just take them to the forest and kill them. And they actually blamed it all on Nazi Germany, saying that they were the ones that did it. However, obviously, after a few decades, we learned that it was the complete opposite. But yeah, so that is not the
Leave it to the Russians.
Yeah, leave it to the Russians, freaking Russians. That was not the complete breakdown of the invasion of Poland, but we will hit on some important things on the next episode. That'll be part 2 of a 5-part series that we've got going on. One thing that we'll hit on during next episode will be the Enigma code, because that's also very interesting. I don't know if you guys know about the Enigma code, but it's like one of the most sophisticated codes or ways to communicate that the German military created during World War II, and how a lot of forces and countries came together to try to figure out how to break it, which really led to the success of us winning the war. So
For us. Pat on the back.
well, not us, but the Allied powers.
It was America.
It is mostly
America.
us, but okay.
Yeah,
No one else
everyone-
had the balls to drop atomic bombs.
Yeah, the balls are the stupidity too.
Yeah. No, if I have like still I remember in history class they were like, so what do you think we should have done? And I'm still of the mindset I'm like, we could have done it. It was not necessary. Like,
No, none
I
of
don't
it
feel
was
like
necessary. The thing is that, and I think this
I don't know. We showed the world we had a pretty big dick that day.
or we showed the world that we don't know how to control our dick.
I mean, I guess we got a few countries pregnant. That's all.
What do you want from us? We're basically just frat boys running a country. Now come on.
For real.
Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, we can dive into this on the I think we're gonna hit that on episode 3 or part 3 of the series, just because it's probably gonna be a pretty big part of what we discussed then. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes of the war.
Is
to be
dropping the
honest.
bomb?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I don't know. But
I'm gonna take the unpopular opinion, and I'm gonna say like, I think we should have dropped the bomb.
well, I don't even think that's the unpopular opinion.
You don't think? You
Yeah.
guys think you guys got the unpopular opinion?
I think more people are on the side of we should have dropped the bomb, but I don't know. We can discuss that a little bit further and evaluate. We'll try to bring as many details and into that episode and get a lot of different opinions and point of views.
Yeah, that's true.
Sounds good. We'll let the listeners vote on it.
Yeah,
Who's right and who's wrong.
Which one of us gets
That'd actually be
canceled?
really cool.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a winner take all.
Winner
Well,
take
I guess
all.
a loser lose all. If you get it wrong, you get booted out of Shadow Valley.
Oh my gosh.
That would suck.
Damn, I hope you guys are
Brandon
right
gets
then.
it wrong.
I just get like kicked out.
Damn, can you imagine getting kicked out of your? Oh, you'd be like Steve Jobs, bro.
Getting kicked out of my own company.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, you
That
can
would
at
be
least say
pretty
you're like
cool.
Steve Jobs.
I know. Except for just not as rich. Actually poor. So poor.
You're like,
Definitely.
you're like,
Broke college student.
yeah, I dream as big as Steve Jobs because my own company couldn't handle me.
For real. Oh shoot.
Well, I know that was kind of like a information dump, and it's probably something that you have heard already. But again, I just wanted to hit on the more important details in this first episode. I apologize if it was a little boring.
Maybe
Sorry.
we can just like lighten things up with a quick joke.
Okay.
Why was the turkey
The
fight
fear in
canceled?
Gabe's eyes.
Why is the turkey what?
Why was the turkey fight canceled?
Why was the turkey fight canceled? Because there was no cock. I don't know.
They're worried about foul play.
Nice. Got him. Good joke. But yeah, next week's episode will be a little more entertaining, I hope, just because we'll go into more of a kind of general overview of topics, not so information dumpy, and we'll get more of an open conversation going. So, but yeah, if you guys want to learn about any other things, please send us an email. We want to make sure that we're getting the details right. If you see or if you heard anything that we got incorrect, again, just to echo what Brennan said in the beginning, we're not perfect. We're not like history majors either. We all do enjoy history, and it's one of our more favored topics. So yeah, hopefully we got most of the details right. And again, give us a shout, give us a follow, reach out to us because we want to know.
For real.
And vote on our lives, I guess.
Yeah.
Vote on who gets kicked off. It's
Oh
like
my
the
God.
island.
Brennan's too controversial. We need to get him off the show. Like, nah, shut the fuck up. You like me.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
But yeah, I guess just like ending on like a little bit of a note, like just a quick story to tell you guys. You know, one of my coworkers actually got attacked by a cat recently and they weren't able to come into work.
For real?
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're joking with me or not.
Like dead ass, they got attacked by a
I
cat.
swear, if you're joking with me, I'm gonna kill you.
They had to call in and say they weren't feline well.
Oh my gosh.
Just absolutely.
You should have played the drums.
I probably should have just like straight up gone. I think it's this one.
Nice. There it is.
Soundtrack of my life.
Well, anyways, guys, this is you've got Gabe here, and I apologize again if it was a little information dumpy, but we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. My name's Brennan, and guys,
And you got Parker.
it's been real. It's been fun, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.